All right, so welcome again, people, to MG Sports TV. Hopefully, you guys are doing good and everything is fine. As you can see from the title and the thumbnail, we're going to speak about John Wall and the Reggae Boyz U20 for the upcoming U20 Concacaf, upcoming Concacaf U20 qualification. So we have a few matches coming up in February. Certainly, it's going to be interesting, very, very interesting. But as it stands at this moment, I want to get into the discussion of John Wall's statement. Maybe it's been a long while since he said it, and just a touch upon it. Just a touch upon it. It has to do with the 300 plus minutes. So what John Wall basically said was, he's generally only considering players to represent the national team who would have played minimum over the odds of 300 minutes for their clubs, per se, Premier League clubs at that. And the reason why is saying that the Premier League is semi-pro, but he wants players who has registered professional minutes. Now, let me start off by saying, I know most of you watching this video will disagree with me. No, it's my opinion, and I'm going to share my point of view why I believe that in some sense I agree with John Wall, and there's another part where I disagree with him as well. Now, I watched the interview that he did on, I think it was on Manningsman show. I think it was on Manningsman show. Technically, basically doing that, like clarifying what he was saying. It's a while back in the people, but I just decided to do a video on it. And the reason why I decided to do a video on it, I tentatively wanted to make a fair assessment, rewatch what and listen to what he's saying, then went out and seek others' point of view on it. These point of view would comprise of coaches and scouts overseas, not here in Jamaica. Coaches and scouts in England, in the USA, and I think I spoke to one scout from Australia. No, sorry, he's a coach from Australia. My bad. And a coach from Germany. Now, some of these coaches and scouts are from the Caribbean Premier Showcase that I met the other day, and they were giving me their assessment of the players that they have seen, where they could improve, their weaknesses, their strengths, and what they're doing, and that general aspect. So with more information at hand, I can come to my point and relay my point a lot better. Now, as I said, a lot of you guys will disagree. A lot of you guys will disagree with my opinion, because I think where the national team is concerned, there's a sway in opinion. Now, before I get into that, you don't know, I have to do the YouTube stuff by hitting the like button and also hitting the subscribe button. Now, let's start off by saying one, the Kota Rule. So much persons at this present moment were upset about the Kota Rule. They're livid. They're mad about the Kota Rule. I, for one, I don't have a problem with it. One, you're going to hear, this is one of the things you're going to hear in the comment section. Just looking at the comment section, you will see MG Sports want him in friend them going at a team. MG Sports don't mind if I be a local player in a team. All them, you're going to hear all them kind of something there. But let me tell. Let's get an understanding first. Everywhere you go in world football, there's a quota system. Every single where you go in world football, there is a quota system. Now, I'm going to use England as a reference, and let me tell you the reason why I'm using England as a reference. Because most Jamaican football supporters watch the English Premier League. So I'm using that as a point of reference. Now, one of the main reasons why, because I don't know, I'm not sure if you guys know, but England was not necessarily one of the most dominant countries in world football. Now, when England introduced the quota system, and in the England quota system goes from the clubs straight down to grassroots program, right down to grassroots program. That's where their quota system stem from, and that's how they structured their quota system. So this big thing about the national team, the U20 team and quota system, I believe it's technically, there's no issue in that for me. One. There's no issue in that for me. One. Now, when you go in any academy in England, and let's even use US. For those who don't know, let's find out from your friends who's playing in the US, find out from coaches who's coaching in US, and scouts who's scouting in US. Find out from them. And if you're a part of it, you'd know what I'm saying then. That there is a quota system even within the US, from the MLS go straight down to the lowest level of football in the US. Quota system is a standard implementation to improve the governing our local body of football. Let me tell you how England did that. Over the years, England, a lot of players from the English Premier League. You have some players that come in England, and then we'll find out, we're looking at say for example, Arsenal. The entire starting lineup, no English-born player. None. When you look at the bench, probably one English-born player. How does that improve England in senior team? When you look at Manchester United, it's all international players. So all the top clubs in England are all players of different nationalities other than that of England. So you know what England did? England said, okay, you know what? For us to improve our football, we want our players playing amongst the elites. So all clubs are subjected to a particular quota. So you must have homegrown talent in your first team. In your first team. And when I said first team, I'm not talking starting 11. I'm talking the selected 24 or whatever on match day. You must have a particular amount of English-based or English-born players in that. So when you consistently have these happening, you find out that one and two of these players generally start getting better. And with them getting better, why my camera start behave like this? You understand? And with these players getting better, you find that over a time period, the English team is now getting better players from their first top tier division. So that's how they improve it. Now when you have in the academies now, just imagine, let's say Manchester United, which one of the biggest clubs, one of the biggest clubs in the world, both Liverpool and Manchester, they're the two biggest clubs in England. Where fan base is concerned, I think Manchester United is the biggest club globally in English Premier League. Just imagine if Manchester United Academy was doing this exclusive scouting and there's no English players within their academy. So what you find out is that an English club is developing a lot of nationals, international players, and not developing any of their own. Because the talk would be that these players are not good enough. So they have to go out to get these players. So you know what the English FA said? No, we can't have that. Spend time and develop some of our own and let these players grow to that level. And over the time, over years of doing that, years and years of doing that, you find out now that the English teams, English senior teams are getting better because you have better players now coming out of the top tier clubs from English teams and the English academies. So you find out now at the lowest level of football, the English youth teams now are starting to get better because why? They have to be developing those players. No, I'm not saying that. You have to use the national team as the development route. I'm not saying that. Now, in instance or in the aspect of the national team where that is concerned, let's look in the Jamaican context. With Jamaica, We don't have a lot of clubs developing our players to a certain standard. But, well, to a certain standard for them to be able to play for the national team. But it does not mean that there's no quality at all is in Jamaica. It does mean that. Let me give you a perfect example. The John Richards. Now, if we should go by John Wall mantra, whereas you need 300 minutes at the pro level or semi-pro level at a club, consistently playing. If we should sit back and think about it, if I take away the national, let's move away the national minutes, because that's totally different from club professional minutes. Dujan Richards would not be qualified. Are you saying that because he's not qualified, because he don't have 300 plus minutes playing for a club, does it mean that he's not good enough? No! He's one of the most elite young talents in global football at this present moment. He's one of the most elite young talents in global football at this moment. Without playing any club football, without playing any level of club football. No, he trained with the Chelsea first team, but he still haven't played for Chelsea first team. He still haven't played for Chelsea Academy as yet. But one thing for sure, and he has never played any local football in our local league. He hasn't played in any other. So you wouldn't have the 300 plus minutes to qualify to be selected for the U20. No, on the basis of playing for the national team, would have already seen, the senior team at that, would have already seen. So imagine if we went by this mantra and said, you know what, despite he did that in schoolboy football, we don't care. It's still not at the level as yet to play for the national team. So you won't get any opportunity. You won't get any opportunity. So what I'm saying here is this, people. I understand where John Wall is coming from, and I agree in some sense that you need players at the elite level for the national team to be performing at that level, to be performing and to be competitive. In which I agree. I totally agree with that. But what I'm saying is, with the likes of Dujan Richards, there are more. Are just like Dujan Richards, there are more here. I'm not saying that there's 40 of them, there's 50, there's 30. I'm not saying that. But at least we can find 1, 2, or 3 of them of that level who can still have in and around the squad to see what it's like or to gain that level of experience. So, it did say anomalies. Anomalies would be like a whisper, where even though he didn't play in the Premier League in Jamaica or for any club, the talent he has stands out. 100% stands out. It's just evident. Even though. So you would refer to him as an anomaly. Just one off. But there are also other one-off talents here as well. So with the implementation of a quota system, say you make a spot for 4. So the squad is 24. And you put a quota system of at least 4 Jamaican born or Jamaican developed players must in the squad. At least. So that would maybe open those 4 spots for the 4 anomalies who stand out. You'd say that, all right, through the schoolboy process, and not only schoolboy football, these guys will be playing Premier League or whatever, but they have that level and they have that talent to stand out and to play. But I see a lot of persons are saying that we have no talent here, none of the players here are good enough. I don't subscribe to that, none at all, at no point in all. And if you should make such reference, You cannot then go back and say, whisper different. You cannot say that. It's either we don't have talent, none at all, or we do have talent that can be developed. No, where John Wall is concerned, I believe also John Wall technically sidesteps a huge responsibility. Let me tell you how. Now, in the same interview, John Wall, someone make reference to success and what would he deem as success. And John Wall's statement was he would deem success as at least 6 or 7 of those players would have progressed to first team football. That's what he made refer to as success. So his success is not necessarily doing well in the competition or in the U20s. That's not what he would refer to as his success. His success is for these players to develop and make a strong progression into first team football. Now, for me personally, this is my opinion. I believe that is definitely sidestepping responsibilities. And let me tell you why. My apologies for consistently fixing them. I don't know why the camera be like that. I can't get up again. Let me tell you why I believe that he's sidestepping responsibilities. One, his role is to coach a team, the present team, and his success will be judged off the performance of his present team. Now, with him saying that success can be relative and success can also be some of these players progressing to the first team, that would mean that most of the previous U20, U18, whatever level coaches have been successful. Because time and time again, we have seen most of those players, the same players who represented us, are in the national team. Let me tell you, U20s, U21, Richard King, Tope, Kaim Paris. Ooh, there's so much names I could call. There's so much names I could call would have represented us at youth level and progressed to and made appearance in the first team or make it to the first team. So from that logic, all of those coaches would have been successful despite falling short in that specific competition that they are playing in. So when it changed or twist the narrative to success being relative, in my point of view, that is definitely sidestepping. It's my opinion. No, but so this is what I'm talking about, people. In my view, I will be judging John Wall based off the performance of the players in this competition. Because according to his metrics, which is stand strong, he's very serious about it. According to his metrics and his standard, I will hold him accountable at that standard. Just as though when last year Fuzzy failed, and the backlash and the beat no Fuzzy get last year for not qualifying with the team that he had, with so much quality players who were playing for Reading United, a lot of quality players. You can really have Chad James, Jamari Clark, Boyz Clark, so much of them people. Bignall, Zimenez, Devante Campbell, so much of them. And he failed. And he get a heavy backlash for it. Now, the funny part is, we would have seen some of those players, names still being called about coming back. So here the question is now. I believe, based on that metrics, that just as though one coach failed and we deem them failed in one area, the next should be deemed in the same area. The next should be deemed in the same sense. So, with this said, I understand where John Wall is coming from, and I understand John Wall's point of view of how he wants to approach the U20 qualifications and getting a strong team going forward. I 100% understand that. And the 300 plus minutes, I agree with it as well. But the other part of it where I would say that there's more anomalies than Whisper, because there are other players here who's just as good as playing at that level. But who's to say? That's boy MG Sports a madman. Just love chat. So I will hold John Wall at the same standard, just as how Marcel Gale did not progress last season. So both coaches from last season, from last year, so I did say that coaching made a big blunder last season. So I will definitely hold this coach at the same standard as I did the last U20 competition. Same standard. Now he's going by numbers. Nothing's wrong with that. I'm a numbers person. I love going by numbers. Nothing's wrong with that. And there is one thing I wanted to discuss. Why can't I don't remember it. But me say, me know I over cussing, I go in the comment section, you know. Me there for cussing. I may reply still, me there for cussing. So maybe tonight me do a live stream. You know, just for get some of those persons who are going to cuss. So enough people who are going to cuss me, I get some of them persons in, make them call in, and we'll have that discussion. Because I know a lot of persons are going to say, boy, this rated, but they don't have valid points to back their argument. Many of them. So I'm open for discussion to have a general understanding. We all want the same thing. It's for the team to be successful. We all want that. So this is actually a very, very crucial and important discussion to have. And this is my opinion on the old John Wall quote. The John Wall 300 plus minutes approach. The so-called quota system that was implemented, and my opinion on everything. That's how I view it. That is how I view it. It's going to be interesting later when we do a live stream. So big up on yourself, people. Smash the like button. Some people are watching right now have ring up their face. Hey, you know my talk, you know. Hey, big up yourself, people. Smash the like button, hit the subscribe button. There's a lot more I wanted to say, but I can't get across everything at once. That's why I prefer to do a live stream for this. So go, people. Big up yourself, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys later. And later, big up, people. MG Sports TV. We're out. Boom.